or were here on property, you know that that was not a straight pass. That thing was all over his lane. We actually had to go down and check to see if he had touched the center line, and thankfully he did not. So the run stood. He's your number 4 qualifier left side, the quicker of the 2 cars. Right-hand side is Mike DiDomenico. DiDomenico out of Ohio, the CNC Performance Parts back, 1968 Camaro, your number 5 qualifier at 370 at 205. So these 2 cars separated by 200ths of a second, 21 thousandths of a second to be exact. And that amount of time could very easily be made up with a hole shot. So this is a pick-em race. The higher qualified car on the left, but by 1 spot. The underdog on the right, but as I said, only separated by 200ths of a second. So Ford versus Chevy, Camaro versus Mustang. Round number 1, pair number 1, XtremePro mod, here we go. Red light for Bob Glenn. To the finish line, 375 at 205 for Mike DiDomenico, and a 004 red light for Bob Glenn. He left 4 thousandths of a second too soon and gives the automatic win to Mike DiDomenico. DiDomenico making a good run, 375, 2 at 205 in the heat. And Bob Glenn got out of the gas early, going 396 at just 169 after the foul start. He tried for the hole shot, but just barely missed. Mike DiDomenico with a very respectable 031 reaction time. And as I said before, the hole shot can make all the difference. Bob Glenn went for it, but came up 4th, now on the wrong side. That'll bring up Craig Sullivan and Tom Blinko next. Backing up after their long, smoky burnouts, Craig Sullivan and Tom Blinko are next pair. Tom Blinko out of Bardstown, Kentucky, right-hand side. The C7 Chevrolet Corvette. He is our number 6 qualifier, 375 with a 4 at an even 200 miles an hour. That's the black Corvette, right side, Tom Blinko. Craig Sullivan out of Illinois. The unique 1949 Mercury Custom, he calls it El Mero. He's in the sales industry. He qualified in the number 3 spot, 368.1 at 203 miles an hour. So the favorite car this time again, left side of the racetrack. The underdog right side. This time a little bit more difference in performance between the two. Craig Sullivan holding about 700ths better based on qualifying. Sullivan with the hole shot. Sullivan with the win, 369 at 204.92 miles an hour. And Blinko with his best run of the weekend, 373.5 at 200.98. So a good side-by-side battle, but Craig Sullivan led that one start to finish with a better reaction time of 032 to 055. Blinko was not asleep by any means, but Craig Sullivan got off the line first, and he led him all the way down the racetrack. 369.8 at 204 miles an hour, as Craig Sullivan staying very consistent. He has made 3 runs this weekend, a pair of 368s and now a 369 as he moves to the semifinals from that pair. That will bring up our next pair of cars. Jeff Rudolph and David Monday. Once again, I need Holly EFI Factory Supercar, Holly EFI Factory Supercar to the lanes, Holly EFI Factory Supercar. Holly EFI Factory Supercar to the lanes, please. Jeff Rudolph and David Monday, our next pair. Chevy on Chevy battle. Centrifugal supercharger versus old school blower above the engine. David Monday, the guy who builds these race cars for a living out of Tennessee, 1963 Swiftland of Corvette. He's on the right side of the racetrack. He will face Jeff Rudolph. Rudolph out of Brownsburg, Indiana, in the excavating business. The Ghetto Sleigh 1969 model Camaro left side. He is your number 2 qualifier at 367. David Monday qualified with a 413, so this one kind of a mismatch on paper. The big favorite is left side for Jeff Rudolph. David Monday, the big underdog, again, his best run, 413 at just 138, so kind of an unknown quantity, but again, Jeff Rudolph, the favorite car, and so far all cars with lane choice have taken the left lane of the racetrack. Off the starting line, and once again, Monday has problems. 368.1 at 203.5 miles an hour for Jeff Rudolph. Another car, just like a bracket car, made a pair of 367 passes yesterday. Now a 368.1 at 203. Jeff Rudolph to the semifinals, and David Monday will complete his weekend, unfortunately, without a complete pass. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes your final car in VP Racing Lubricants XtremePro mod. In what should be a pair with 8 cars, but William Brown is a no-show. So what should be our final pair of Ty Tudrow versus William Brown. William Brown is a no-show. So Ty Tudrow, your number 1 qualifier out of Mocksville, North Carolina, and our most recent race winner in the 1957 Buick that debuted last month at Orlando Speed World Dragway, will get a single here. Ty Tudrow, following in the footsteps of his father, Todd Tudrow, the guy they call King Tut. Tudrow qualified number 1, 364 at 205. So as soon as he stages the car, he will get the win light. The question is, will he make a full hit? Knowing he had the single, they might try something here. They also may have the A to B tune-up in it because the quicker car from the previous round gets the all-important lane choice. So we'll see what Tudrow does right here. Attention in the bids, attention in the bids. I will take Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5 to the lane, please. Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5. Tudrow, 366.9 at 204.73 miles an hour. So 3.6 second over 200 mile an hour runs in a row for Tudrow, as well as 3.6 second runs at over 200 miles an hour for round number 1 for our winners. Ty Tudrow goes to the semifinals. Well, he will enjoy lane choice over Mike DiDomenico The other side of the ladder will put Craig Sullivan against Jeff Rudolph, and Jeff Rudolph will have lane choice based on the quicker ET. Once again, my final call for Holly EFI Factory Supercar. Holly EFI Factory Supercar to the lanes, please. Holly EFI Factory Supercar. Holly EFI Factory Supercar to the lanes. I need Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5 to the lanes, please. Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5 to the lanes, please. Once again, Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5. I need you to the lanes, please. Our first pair out here in the ARP Fasteners Nitrous Pro Street class, Tim Barton and Nicole Liberty. Nicole Liberty in the XPro stock 1999 Pontiac Firebird out of Michigan. It's got a big block naturally aspirated with a stick shift behind it. Yeah, the Liberty 5-speed, so she'll be dropping the clutch pedal right side. Tim Barton in the radial equipped 1973 Nova left side. He's your higher qualified car. Off the starting line, the Nova gets loose. The upset for Nicole Liberty, 4:48 at 1:56 for Nicole Liberty, as she was the number 5 qualifier. Your number 2 qualifier, Tim Barton, knocks the tires off, and Nicole Liberty, who qualified with a 4:48, runs another 4:48.6 at 1:56 to take the win. That will bring up our next pair, a pair of Florida-based hot rods, Kyle Salmonen and Leonard Grauberg. Grauberg out of the Bradenton, Florida area. I hear there's a racetrack down there. 1969 model Chevy Camaro. He's in the engineering field. Leonard Grauberg qualified in the number 4 spot, 4:37 at 1:63. He'll face fellow Floridian Kyle Salmonen. Kyle out of the Port Charlotte, Florida area. He's an electrician by trade. 2003 model Chevy Cavalier. I talked about these two because they qualified next to each other yesterday. And Kyle used to wheel a 1969 Camaro, a beautiful blue hot rod, since making the change to the little small Chevy Cavalier. Has it made a difference for him? Well, he qualified 1 spot above Leonard in the number 3 spot with a 4:34 at 1:65. So on paper, this is your closest run right here. Your number 3 qualifier left side, number 4 qualifier right side. 300 separate them on the qualifying sheet. That's like not too much. That can be made up on a reaction time hole shot. But right now, the favored car sits left side for Kyle. The underdog for Leonard right side. But again, this is a number 3, number 4 qualifier, so it's a pick-em race. Both of them wagging around a little bit, and Kyle will get the win here, 4:38 at 1:64, as Leonard came off the starting line, and the car aggressively moving around as it spun the tires. Kyle takes advantage. Once again, I need Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5 to the lanes, please. Dart NA 10.5. Dart NA 10.5 to the lanes, please. I also need Coyote Stock. Coyote Stock to the lanes, please. Coyote Stock. Your first call to the lanes, Coyote Stock. All right, here comes your final pair in round number 1 of ARP Nitrous Pro Street. David Fallon Jr. and Raven Cox. Cox in the nitrous-infused 1977 model Trans Am out of Indiana, right-hand side. He's your number 6 qualifier. He's got the tall task of facing your number 1 qualifier and your defending class champion, David Fallon Jr. Fallon in the white Camaro on the VP Racing Fuel side of the racetrack out of Michigan. The 2002 Chevy Camaro, your number 1 qualifier at 426 at 168. Cox's best fast is 611. So this one is a big task, and it is going to be all over but the crying as 433 at 167 takes care of Raymond Cox's 568 at 104. David Fallon Jr. to the next round. So that will round up round number 1 of ARP Fasteners Nitrous Pro Street. That will bring us to the Holley EFI Factory Supercar class. So we're going to do a little bit of racetrack touch-up before we go to that class next, ladies and gentlemen. So you got a few minutes. If you want to go grab yourself something to eat or drink, you can visit the concession stand right-hand side of the racetrack. Also check out the manufacturer's midway located behind the tower. All kinds of great things to check out back there, including Arrington Performance, the Nitto